So you think you don't have a strong back and you're not able to row a great deal of weight which will help you to lose the weight that you need to lose. Everybody thinks that they know the right way to do every exercise and they are more than happy to share that knowledge with you. But you have to be careful in choosing the advice that you should be following. In this video, I want to address a very important issue and a question: what is the correct form when you're doing rowing and why it is so important? My friends, so the short answer is your safety. Doing any exercise with wrong form can result in injury. It will also prevent you from getting the full benefit of the workout that you're doing. And the reason has to do with the way your body functions. Most of the major lifts such as the squat, the deadlift, the bench press or the overhead press are also known as functional exercise requiring several muscles and joints to work perfectly in combination. This is why they are also known as compound movements. The compound movements that we just spoke of place a lot of stress on the main joints in the body, the ball and socket joints, which are the shoulders and the hips, as well as the knee, the ankle and the elbows, and they call in play what is known as the law of torque. So before we understand the law of torque and exactly how to generate the rotational forces at the shoulder, it's very important for us to understand how the shoulder joint is articulated. So what we have here is the humerus, which is the upper arm bone of your body. What this has is, it has a head which goes into the glenoid cavity in your shoulder, and this is how the ball and socket joint is articulated. However, this ball and socket joint has a lot of freedom and potential to move and hence a lot of risk of injury. So to protect the joint from the injury, what we have is a fibrous layer of tendon, and that's how it looks. This is how the tendon encapsulates this particular joint, and if we don't squeeze the tendon and remove the slack, what we have is the shoulder joint having a lot of freedom in the glenoid cavity, which can risk you for injury and also lose power. So therefore what I want you to do is, I want you to generate torque the way we had mentioned, which is the extension of the shoulder and the internal rotation, and make sure that the slack is removed and hence you don't have any other space. Therefore, your elbow has no other option but to track your shoulder. So now, having understood this basic of law of torque, let us understand this in detail. When you're doing a row exercise, for example, the shoulder joint is going into an extension to get into the concentric phase of the exercise. During this time, the shoulder joint also needs internal rotation in order to achieve excellent stability in the cervical and the thoracic regions of the spine, forcing it into a neutral position and getting the vertebrae properly stacked up upon one another. Simply put, the law of torque demands that when the shoulder joint is into an extension, then it rotates inward, not outward. This means your elbows need to be pointing down close to your body, precisely in line with your posterior shoulder muscle. In this case, due to the activation of torque forces at the shoulder joint, there is no shear force or stress, but only compressive pressure on the elbow joint. The shear stress on the elbow when your shoulder is into an extension and if your elbow is pointing out leads to elbow tendinitis, a severely inflammatory condition leading to musculoskeletal pain in your joint. However, the compressive pressure when your elbow joint is tucked in close to your body while rowing leads to the joint becoming stronger and more resilient to the gravitational forces, which is why we do the back workout and we do rowing in specific. Friends, this is the only correct way to engage your shoulder and your elbow joint in a row movement. But if your shoulder is pointing outward, then that means that the torque at the shoulder joint is completely lost and the joint comes under shear stress. This means your form is wrong and you can injure yourself. As far as barbell exercises for the back are concerned, such as the bent over rows or the deadlift, while gripping the barbell, merely try to create rotational forces at the shoulder joint as if you were about to break the bar and bend the bar towards you. This mechanism of shoulder extension with internal rotation ensures that your shoulder is in a good position to either do a deadlift or a bent over row safely and effectively without risking the injury to your shoulder joint or straining your upper back region of the spine, because now you have the torque activated at your shoulder joint. Guys, so follow me and I will take you through the right way to work out, clearly explaining you and reasoning out why am I saying so each and every time. And when you work out right, eat right, sleep right, you make sure that the fitness becomes a natural part of your life.